Before the smouldering allure of Ryan Gosling, the enigmatic charm of Robert Pattinson, the haunting intensity of River Phoenix, the captivating performances of Leonardo DiCaprio, or the rebellious charisma of Johnny Depp, there existed a name that resonated with an enigmatic allure, one that transcended time and epitomized the essence of rebellion and charisma: James Dean. Dean's journey was guided by an irresistible pull toward the arts from the outset. His gaze, soulful and intense, became a cinematic signature, capturing not just the eyes of audiences, but the industry itself. Dean ascended to iconic status in a career that unfolded across only 3 major films, embodying youthful defiance and unbridled passion. Yet, beyond the silver screen, Dean's life unfolded like a tragic poem, rich with tumultuous relationships, an unyielding quest for authenticity, and a rebellious spirit that brazenly challenged societal norms. This is the captivating tale of James Dean, an exploration that unravels the mystique surrounding the man, whose flame burnt brightly but briefly. In the quiet town of Marion, Indiana, James Dean came into the world on February 8, 1931, to a modest family, the son of Mildred and Winton Dean. His early years unfolded in a typical Midwestern setting, laying the groundwork for his life on a stable but unremarkable foundation. 6 years after his father made the transition from farming to becoming a dental technician, the family uprooted their lives and moved to Santa Monica, California. It was during this Californian chapter that Dean formed a deep bond with his mother Mildred, the one person who truly comprehended the depths of his soul. Their connection became a guiding light in his life. Tragedy struck when Dean was just 9 years old, casting a shadow over his idyllic childhood. His mother fell seriously ill with cancer and succumbed to the relentless disease, leaving a profound void in Dean's heart. This heartbreaking loss would go on to mold his emotional landscape, contributing perhaps to the intensity that would later become synonymous with his name. Faced with the daunting task of raising his son alone, Dean's father sent him to live with his aunt and uncle on their farm back in Indiana. This pivotal decision marked the beginning of a prolonged estrangement between father and son. During his teenage years, the young Dean sought the guidance and companionship of his local pastor, Reverend DeWeird. DeWeird wielded a formative influence on Dean, particularly in shaping his future interests in car racing and theater. There have been speculations about Dean having an inappropriate relationship with DeWeird, suggesting that it began shortly after his mother passed and was said to have lasted for many years. Despite his struggles, Dean excelled in high school, actively participating in baseball and basketball teams, engaging in drama studies, and demonstrating proficiency in public speaking. He was also popular among his peers. Following graduation, he returned to California to live with his father, who had since remarried. After initially enrolling in college as a pre-law major, he later transferred to UCLA and switched to drama, causing a further rift with his father. After a brief stint, Dean decided to drop out of UCLA and pursue acting full-time. Struggling to establish himself in Hollywood, he took on various odd jobs. It was during this challenging period that he crossed paths with Rogers Brackett, a radio director who played a pivotal role in helping Dean secure his first starring role on Broadway in See the Jaguar. By 1951, heeding the advice of Brackett and actor James Whitmore, Dean made the move to New York City. There, he appeared in several television series before gaining admission to the exclusive Actors Studio, becoming one of its youngest members. In 1952, he achieved a significant milestone by securing a non-speaking role in a movie alongside the legendary actor Humphrey Bogart. Positive reviews for his theatrical role as Batya, a pandering homosexual houseboy in The Immoralist, garnered attention from Hollywood. Dean's breakthrough came in 1953 when director Elia Kazan sought a substantive actor for the emotionally complex role of Cal Trask in the adaptation of John Steinbeck's novel East of Eden. Despite Steinbeck's reservations about the moody, complex young man, Dean was chosen for the role, with Steinbeck believing his demeanor was perfect for the part. Much of Dean's performance in the film was unscripted, showcasing his natural talent. East of Eden would be his only film released during his lifetime. Dean's portrayal in the film foreshadowed his role as Jim Stark in Rebel Without a Cause. Both characters are angst-ridden protagonists and misunderstood outcasts, desperately craving approval from their fathers. The film proved to be hugely popular among teenagers and was cited as an accurate representation of teenage angst. Following East of Eden and Rebel Without a Cause, Dean sought to avoid being typecast as a rebellious teenager like Cal Trask or Jim Stark. Consequently, he took on the role of Jet Rink, a Texan ranch hand who struck oil and became wealthy in Giant, his final film. While the burgeoning actor found success on the silver screen, his personal life became veiled in rumors and speculations, particularly concerning his sexuality. Some reports suggested he had relationships with both men and women, proposing that he engaged in gay-for-pay activities with Hollywood executives to secure his leading roles. Nevertheless, there was no credible evidence to substantiate these claims. In an era of discretion, these conjectures added an air of mystery to his already enigmatic image. One of his noteworthy relationships was with Italian actress Pia Angeli. Their romance captured the media and the public's attention. However, religious differences led to opposition from Angeli's mother, ultimately resulting in the heartbreaking end of their love story. Dean's subsequent relationships with glamorous women were characterized by their intensity and brevity. After the unprecedented commercial success of East of Eden, Dean indulged in his newfound wealth by acquiring several sports cars, including a Triumph Tiger T 110 and a Porsche 356, as his fame reached astronomical heights. Expressing a keen interest in building a career in motorsport, he not only discussed his passion, but also actively participated in professional events, with his first being the Palm Springs Road Races. Impressively, he secured podium finishes in both the novice category and the main event. Dean harbored a dream of participating in the prestigious Indianapolis 500, but his busy schedule prevented him from realizing this aspiration. His brief racing career faced a hiatus when Warner Brothers requested him to prioritize his work in Giant. However, this pause was temporary, as shortly after wrapping up filming, Dean entered the Salinas Road race event with his new 1955 Porsche 550 Spider. However, his participation in the event was never meant to be. On September 30th, 1955, while speeding en route to the race, Dean collided with a Ford motor vehicle. This impact caused his car to bounce across the pavement and come to rest on the side of the highway near Cholam, California. Dean's passenger was ejected from the Porsche, while Dean himself remained trapped in the car, sustaining numerous fatal injuries, including a broken neck. The driver of the Ford exited his damaged vehicle with minor injuries. Several passers-by witnessed the accident and immediately stopped to offer assistance. Unfortunately, despite prompt medical attention, Dean was pronounced dead on arrival shortly after being transferred to the hospital by ambulance. At the young age of 24, his untimely demise sent shockwaves through the community. While details of Dean's tragic death were initially slow to reach newspapers in the eastern United States, they were quickly disseminated through radio and television channels. The news of his passing garnered extensive coverage from both domestic and international media outlets. Subsequent investigations during a later inquest attributed the fault for the accident solely to Dean. On October 8, 1955, Dean was laid to rest in the presence of grieving mourners and devoted fans. The closed coffin concealed the severity of his injuries, marking a somber farewell. His final resting place is at Park Cemetery in Fairmount, Indiana. In tribute to the enduring legacy of the Hollywood icon, a monument now stands near the site of the tragic accident. The intersection of State Route 46 and State Route 41 has been respectfully renamed James Dean Memorial Junction. In the year following the tragic accident, James Dean posthumously received Oscar nominations for his roles in East of Eden and Rebel Without a Cause at the 1956 Academy Awards. These nominations marked a rare moment in Oscar history, as Dean became the first actor to receive posthumous nominations in the Best Actor in a Leading Role category. Even decades after his untimely demise, the allure of James Dean persists. Documentaries, biographies, and artistic tributes continue to explore the intricacies of his multifaceted persona. His influence resonates deeply in the hearts of fans who regard him as a symbol of authenticity, rebellion, and the transient nature of life. In death, James Dean achieved the fame, love, and acclaim that eluded him in life, leaving an indelible mark on the world of cinema.